Long lines of freight trucks continue to clog the Kazakhstan-Russia border with thousands of vehicles backed up at multiple checkpoints. Shipments containing microchips and machine tools from China are being turned back. Trucks continue to sit in kilometer-long queues at the Kazakh-Russian border with thousands of freight vehicles stuck at the checkpoints. According to Kommersant, their source said that customs officials are conducting thorough inspections of Chinese cargo. They are specifically targeting microchips and machine tools that could fall under sanctions or be used for dual purposes. Market participants claim that such shipments are turned back 100% of the time. This has been an ongoing issue because of the sanctions regime. It's been going on for like the last 3 years, but for some reason now it's being really, I don't know what I don't know if it's the Russians or the Kazakhs. Can't imagine that the Russians are the ones stalling it, because if it is sanctions related, which means that somebody has gotten to the Kazakhs and that the Kazakhs are the ones blocking the importation of these materials. But the Kazakhs are claiming that it's the Russians that are doing it, and that they're looking for what they're called gray imports. Raids are being carried out on both sides to identify unscrupulous shippers and obtain accurate information about the nature and content of the cargo. The backlog has worsened due to the closure of Chinese checkpoints for the national holidays, which should have ended today. So we'll keep an eye on that to see what's going on. Earlier, it was reported that businesses were stunned by the massive delays at the Kazakhstan-Russia border. At all three major crossings, at least 5,000 trucks were stuck on each side, and drivers have complained about being held up for hours during inspections. Now, that was article was dated the 2nd of October, 2025. And then there's another one from today. Severe delays have developed along one of Russia's key overland supply routes from China as Kazakhstan has intensified customs inspections at its border crossings. This move has created a major bottleneck with thousands of trucks reportedly waiting for clearance, and shipments of electronics, drone components, and other sensitive goods facing heightened scrutiny. Industry sources estimate that the number of stalled vehicles ranges from between 5,000 and 7,500 trucks, depending on the crossing and reporting time frame. The congestion has been attributed to stricter inspections introduced on or around September 8th, aimed at preventing transit of dual-use goods that could be subject to international sanctions. So this is stuff like computer parts, microchips, and such that are allegedly being used for weapons manufacturing on the Russian side. And I guess some of them maybe have been transported from China across into Kazakhstan and then into Russia, and then actually supposedly into Belarus, where the manufacturing is actually taking place. I don't know how accurate that intelligence is. This is just what I've read in other sources. Customs authorities are reportedly conducting meticulous checks on cargo, including electronics, batteries, drones, machine tools, and Western branded items. Officials are particularly focused on items that could have potential military applications in line with broader efforts to enforce international restrictions. While many trucks are subject to thorough inspections, some reports indicate that non-sensitive cargo is still occasionally cleared, albeit with multi-day delays. It's just everything. Supposedly, according to one insider, even non-sanctioned goods are facing delays of 3 to 5 days. Drivers are often forced to wait in line for extended periods, and some choose to park their vehicles in designated areas to avoid being stuck in inspections. The backlogs are affecting both commercial and industrial supply chains, with knock-on effects for manufacturers relying on timely deliveries. And then I guess there are two countries, Russia and Kazakhstan, are in talks trying to figure out how to fix this problem. And there's another story about Kazakhstan with the trucking that I'll do in another video, in the next video. Satellite imagery of border crossings, while limited, shows significant clustering of vehicles or waiting zones stretching for several kilometers. Logistic firms report that drivers face lengthy delays in unloading and inspection processes, particularly for goods flagged as sensitive or dual use. And then it talks about the sanctions again. The West is trying to target Russia's access to electronics, microchips, and other technology that could support military or industrial operations. Kazakhstan appears to be intensifying inspections to comply with these international frameworks while balancing trade obligations with Russia. Local reports indicate that up to 99% of trucks carrying potentially sensitive goods are subject to intensive checks. In some cases, shipments may be refused entry or redirected through comprehensive confirmation of large-scale confiscation, though comprehensive confirmation of large-scale confiscation has not been independently verified. Experts note that while the backlog is severe, the border is not entirely closed, and some goods continue to pass through overland routes. The delays have raised concerns among logistics providers and businesses in both countries. Manufacturers relying on just-in-time deliveries face disruptions that could impact production schedules and supply availability. Meanwhile, transport operators are navigating the logistical challenges of holding thousands of trucks in waiting areas, coordinating rerouting options, and managing the associated costs. I'm just trying to see if there's anything more. Blah, blah, blah. The so-called middle corridor through Central Asia, the Caspian region, and Turkey presents one potential option for bypassing the most congested border points. However, such rerouting involves additional logistical challenges, longer transfer times, and limited capacity, making it a partial solution at best. While the scale of the disruption is significant, the broader picture suggests a tactical enforcement measure rather than a permanent closure. Officials from both countries have indicated that discussions will continue and that improvements in border processing and freight handling are priorities for the coming weeks, so on and so forth. So that's the end of that. And then I want to talk about the trucking. So I'm going to do another video on that.